a really good. Do you know Raquel Galinsky?
Of course I know Raquel Galinsky.
Okay, so she's on the Comedy Club board, and she's doing stand-up tomorrow night, and she was kind of worried about it. So I was like, here, why don't you send me your routine, and maybe I can give you some notes. So I noticed in the beginning she wanted to talk about icebreakers. So I thought about it, and I wrote her this amazing joke about icebreakers. And I don't know if she'll do it because it's like very like PG-13.
Ooh.
But it kind of goes.
What's the general vibe of the Comedy Club? Is it like PG?
So there isn't really any rules. We never it's kind of like whatever we pretty much kind of have like a no profanity rule, but very unofficial. Like just no one's done any real profanity. I don't know how we'd react.
Nobody's even like broached the subject.
We had like one kid said the word ass one time, and it was like haha. But we haven't ever had a conversation about like what you are or not allowed to say, what topics you are not allowed to joke about.
Because from some of the content that I heard you saying the other day, dude, that's not PG.
No, so I think we're probably gonna settle on PG-13.
Okay.
I think you can make references, but you can never talk about it directly.
Okay, and in a way that enhances the comedy because it's implicit.
Yes. This is good. That was good. That's a good podcast. Yeah, I hear. Like, I would never have a joke where it's about, like, two people having sex, but I would definitely have a joke where I reference sex.
Yeah, I totally hear the difference because comedy is, at its essence, taking things that are not meant to be connected and connecting them.
Yeah.
So if you're too direct, then it kind of loses its
kind of hear the noises
effect.
Coming from the bedroom, but we're not opening the door.
Yeah.
The metaphor.
yeah, exactly.
But the joke I told for her was what you should do is you should say, like, everyone thinks that icebreakers are these innocuous questions, but they're not. They're these traps. They make you think it's, like, meaningless, low stakes. That's not true. Favorite cereal, for example, right? Let's say you like if you're, so Raquel's a girl, so the joke is from the perspective of a girl, but you say you like Raisin Bran, right? That means you're Shomer Nagia, you're old-fashioned. Rice Krispies means you're in a white dude's. Cocoa Puffs, you're in a black dude's. Honey Nut Cheerios, lesbian. Regular Cheerios, lesbian and diabetic. It's because of the circles.
Oh my god.
And I don't know if she'll say it, because I think that's
genius.
Amazing. But I don't know.
Genius.
That's my icebreaker joke. And so I told her, because I sent it to her, and then 2 hours later I was like, this is too good. So I was like, I'm giving you this for that night. You can't use it again, and when people come up and say, oh my god, that joke is amazing, like, you have to reference me, because that was too good.
Oh, that's a quality content right there.
That's a good joke, yeah.
That's some great stuff.
That one was that was pretty much all I did today, was I thought of that joke. And,
so I'm curious, are you going to be performing?
100%.
Okay, awesome. Can we get a sneak peek of some sort of material?
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, besides, when is this going to show this to people? By the time
this is probably going to be out after the Comedy Club.
All right, great. So, I mean, it'll be repeating jokes they'll have already heard. But sure. Then I don't mind doing a sneak peek. I don't want to give away, like, some of my better ones, but yeah. So we can talk about my stand-up thing and his TikTok.
Or do you want to talk about, like, what's your methodology? How do you create funny things?
Jokes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to say jokes because I feel like jokes have a much more like concrete like question answer format. So like, but I don't know. You're the expert here.
No,
so
I mean,
you tell me.
The expert. No, I do very much think of it like jokes. I'm sure I'll repeat myself in like 20 minutes when Remy comes. Because are you filming right now? That would be so stealthy.
We are filming.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You started?
Oh, dude. You didn't realize?
That's so good. This is such good content. I just thought we were like having a conversation the whole time. I was like, you should have been recording this.
Dude, that's the whole point.
Okay, great. Oh, wow, that was good.
Dude, forget we're recording.
Oh, man, I should
forget we're recording. It's okay.
Oh, no. Okay, we'll edit this maybe. Okay, so I do think of it like jokes because when I write, what I do is, one, I make sure I'm alone, and I just talk to myself for like 3 or 4 hours, and I like start with like a blank sheet of paper, right? And I put like a number 1. And then I'm like, okay, I have to write a joke for this. I need to think when I come up with a statement, right? What are people laughing at? So when you look at like the document I have on my computer, it's numbered from like 1 to 20. And each new number is like where people are pausing for laughter. So recently I wrote a joke about Corona, right? Where I knew like I wanted to say that Corona is something everyone gets. So I was like, okay, my punchline has to be, what is something else that everyone gets? So then I just sat for like 20 minutes and I was thinking about it. And then eventually I settled on, okay, I like Andrew Garfield. Everybody likes Andrew Garfield. So that was one of the things. And then one of my favorite kind of jokes is when you make like two comparisons, and one of them is like a good, healthy comparison, and the other one is like a really messed up, like random, like almost offensive comparison. So I was like, okay.
What do you mean?
So you'll see. So what I ended up settling upon was getting COVID is something everyone goes through, kind of like an appreciation for Andrew Garfield or a family member exaggerating their anxiety problems.
Oh my goodness, dude, I love it.
Jokes. Sometimes I'll think of like a concept, like girls in a Gemara class, and then I'm like, okay, so now I have girls in a Gemara class. That in and of itself is not funny. How do I make that funny? So I'll write that down as my concept, and then I'll sit and I'll like talk to myself for 30 minutes until I come up with some comparison to that. And in fact, when I'm like, what Meisels will do is he'll tell a story. Right. And so when I tell a story, I still have that same mindset of, okay, this is still like going to be a list of jokes, but what connects each joke is the story. So I told a story once in Mevaseret about like almost losing my luggage, and then when you look at that story in my notes, it's like 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of, okay, this is a joke about waiting in line in the airport. This is a joke about like me getting upset. This is like my reaction joke. And that's just kind of what I do. A lot of talking to myself, and then a lot of like writing it down. I'm
curious, do you come up with the joke first and then the story that threads through it? Or do you come up with the story, see potential for jokes, and then insert the jokes into the story?
What I did for this upcoming act is I've just been like, anytime I thought of a joke, I would write it down on my computer and put it in the unused jokes file. And then last Sunday, I went through that and I read it a couple times. And then I kind of started from, this is how I want to open. And then I would sit and just kind of think of segues to get into the next one or connect jokes. Like, okay, these two jokes are about Jews, so we'll put them together. These are like my dating jokes, so these need to be together. Connect dating and Jews by making a joke about Jewish girls and then segueing from there. Maybe connecting two jokes because they're both kind of anti-PC, so we'll go from like my get refusal joke to my racism joke. That's kind of what I do.
Oh my goodness. Wow. What's your get refusal joke? I'm curious.
Ooh, so the get refusal joke is really something I said last time, where I said that I was talking about rabbis and how like how in today's culture, because it's almost like easy to become a rabbi, we don't respect them as much as we used to. And when a rabbi kind of tells you to do something, you put it in the nice thing to do pile next to shotness or giving your wife a get the second time she asks for it. Which I love because it's too many levels. Like, first, you don't have to give it to her the first time. The second time, it's optional. The third time, it's so messed up. And it's funny because after it, like, some girl came up to me and she's like, I'm from Aura, and I found that, like, totally inappropriate. And I was like, Aura's here? Like, Aura has a YU club? I was like, okay.
But that's the difficult thing with humor, that, like, you're always going to, step on people's toes. Unless you get, like, really, really good at situational comedy, you're going to be stepping on people's toes. And I think that people need to learn to laugh at themselves more.
That's true. I think I kind of like to think of it as your joke can be as offensive as possible, provided it's as funny as it is offensive.
Okay, interesting.
Which is, I think, a novel
there's like this
viewpoint.
Metric that it has to be.
Because sometimes you get, like, I don't want to say, like, there's bad comedians and good comedians because I'm, like, an amateur, but sometimes you get people who their entire joke is, like, maybe they just use the word retarded. And it's like, that's the whole joke. That's the punchline. And it's like, well, then you're just kind of, you're making fun of special needs people, but they aren't, like, it's not funny enough to deserve that.
Yeah.
Or, like, if someone says, this is, like, my go-to, this is a joke I came up with, it's also, like, a good example. Like, if someone says, knock, knock, who's there, Adolf Hitler, they're probably just an anti-Semite. That's not funny enough to warrant it. So I think there was someone else who said that if, like, the group you're making fun of will laugh at the joke, then it's probably good enough. And I don't know. I don't think my jokes are really, like, too malicious. Like, even my jokes about women I don't think are ever, like, too misogynistic. I like to think I just put, like, one tiptoe over the line.
Okay.
But I don't want to offend people. Like, there was one joke I wrote for this upcoming routine where, like, I kind of took it out because I was like, is this as funny as it is homophobic? I don't know. And it's like, I'm already kind of pressed for time, so I took it out. I don't know. I was like, yeah, you don't want to be funny because you're offensive. You want to be, like, funny and offensive.
Got it. I hear that. It's actually funny that you bring that this came up, because this Sunday, Meretz Hashem, I will be going on a talk show.
Oh, wow. Which one?
It's a new talk show called Humility of Humanity. And lots of shows with long names. Lots of shows with long names.
I like the alliteration. H&H, CNC.
Yeah. So Humility of Humanity. is I found this listing online for an open spot on a talk show. And I'm
So
like,
cool.
dude, of course I'm auditioning for that.
You auditioned already?
Yeah.
And you got what?
I got the part.
Who's hosting? What is it, like a rabbi?
No famous people. It's not Jewish.
Is it like TV or radio or?
Yeah, it's TV.
Oh wow.
It's a Roku channel.
I'm not gonna. Can I?
Riff on Roku.
I'm not gonna riff on Roku. I want to thank Roku. I think they still have it. Recently, I watched the Indonesian action film The Raid on the Roku channel. So if you're listening to this, check it out. Great action movie. Roku. I think it also has like House. If you're in a house, so they have some content.
Okay. So
free with ads.
All right, sweet. So yeah, so it's gonna be streaming on Roku. So we're filming it this Sunday. So one of the topics is Dave Chappelle's The Closer.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's a little late.
So it is a little late for that. It was supposed to be like a month ago, and then somebody got COVID, so then they had to...
Who's the host of this? Like
me. I'm one of the hosts.
Wait, no, not of this. Unless you... I forgot the name. No, that's this one. Humility and Humanity. Who's hosting that? You also?
Yeah, me.
Wait, you're like a permanent fixture? You're a host of this show?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were a guest.
No, I'm hosting for the show.
Wait.
It's me and 4 other people. It's like The View.
But with guys, and so this is like a weekly job for you now.
No, so what we're doing first is they're filming a pilot season.
Oh, this is so cool. Do you have like an agent? How did you get this?
Through Backstage.com.
Backstage. I gotta look. This is so you've met the guys yet?
Yeah.
It's 5 guys.
It's 4 guys and a girl.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they didn't do 3 and 2, but I get whatever.
Okay.
That's how it worked out.
Is the girl like the main, and then she has like 4 guys?
No. So I'm very curious who's gonna be like the
Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm curious who's gonna be the Whoopi Goldberg of our crew.
Are you guys all different races?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I thought it was such a cool premise, and I'm like, I want to be a part of this. So yeah, so it's me, the Orthodox Jewish white kid. I'm also the youngest guy. So like they said I represent the youth, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So it's me, a black lesbian comedian.
She any good?
I have not listened to her content yet. Don't tell her that.
Is she famous?
Her name is Knee Baby.
Oh, but there's no fame. You said there's no famous people?
So she has I think 75,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh, but she hasn't been in anything I would have seen.
No, she's only had comedy specials.
Okay,
so far.
fine.
Yeah. You can look her up. Her name is Knee Baby. And then there is a Caucasian Army veteran.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. His name is Tyler Bliss. And then there's the black activist. His name is Kevin Harmer.
Oh, but you already have I thought it would be like a different...
So I also thought that, and I really hope for season 2 we get... So the last spot is... His name is Bruce Shen. He's an Asian immigration lawyer.
Okay.
And I really hope that for season 2 we can get a Muslim girl, because I think that would really just complete
the cherry on top.
Yeah, I think that would complete the menagerie that we've
It's great.
collected.
That's a Tennessee Williams word right there.
Thank you.
You're the drama kid. Glass Menagerie, was that Tennessee Williams?
I don't know.
Okay.
I like acting. I don't really know
Neither do I. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Glass Menagerie. I don't read Tennessee Williams. I never read a screenplay. That's cool. I have my own diverse group. Well, you can talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So recently I got an AMC A-list subscription. Are you familiar with that?
No, what's that?
So it's $20 a month, and you can see 3 movies a week at an AMC. So I'm
That's
a
dope.
huge movie guy. So that's what I do. So then I also am interested in tons of movies no one else in YU is interested in, like Licorice Pizza. I think I'm the only person
supposed to be really
in YU
good.
who's seen it. I wrote a review for it in the Observer. No one cares about that movie.
Okay, but it was supposed to be really good.
I enjoyed it. I've actually seen it twice. I don't know if I like it. I'm still confused by it. But
okay.
So what I realized is that I'm not the only person going alone to movie theaters. There's a lot of people in these theaters who are going alone.
Dude.
So, and society doesn't talk about us. And I was like, what if I went up to one of these people, and I was like, and started a group chat with just lonely cinephiles. And next time someone's going to see a movie alone, they could go in the group chat and be like, hey, I'm seeing, Licorice Pizza at 5 p.m. Does anyone want to go with me? So at The King's Man, I approached the young-looking Indonesian man next to me at the end of the film, and I was like, hey, do you want to be in this group chat? And Henry was like, sure, I'll be in the group chat.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
And then at Macbeth, I met Adam, this like 40-year-old black guy who works on the train tracks, and he was like, I want to be in the chat. And then at Licorice Pizza, I met Roman Kagan, the Russian, totally irreligious Jew. He wants to be in the group chat. And then at Sundown the other day, I met Jose Gonzalez, and he's in the group chat now. So now it's like me and these 4 other guys.
That is so cool.
And we're all different: white Jew, Russian Jew, Indonesian black Mexican. And hopefully we can all see
cool.
Jackass 4 on Sunday. I don't know if they're available. They've they haven't. They all work. I'm the youth of this club, but that's what I'm doing. Approaching strangers in movie theaters. It's how
Dude, that's awesome. That is so cool.
The goal was that I would get like a number of people, and then I would make them admins in the chat, and they would go to the theater and invite more people.
Have like a real grassroots.
Yes. My seeds are not bearing fruit.
Okay.
They are not.
Right, give it time. Give it time.
I'll wait.
Yeah. But it's interesting that you would want to do that because like, so I've seen one movie by myself. Like that was like.
Which one?
It was Toy Story 4.
Okay, I respect that.
Dude, that's respectable.
There's an urgency, and like you have to see that. And if you don't have, you're not gonna, you don't want to wait. Maybe your friends aren't available.
Exactly. So that's exactly that's what happened. I was supposed to see it with a friend, and then he backed out last minute, and I'm like, dude, Toy Story was my childhood. I used to watch 1 and 2 on repeat, over and over and over.
I own 2 on DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's one that I didn't like when I was really young, but then as I got older, I appreciated it more.
Dude, you just appreciate them so much more the more
Same
you get
with Finding
older.
Nemo. There's like,
yes.
That's also one I feel like you have to be real older to kind of just get into.
Yeah. So when Toy Story 4 came out, I saw it by myself, and I will say straight out on the air, I cried.
That's also just like the subject matter of it is a good movie to see by yourself, because it's like it kind of started. I don't know if it started, but it was kind of like the beginning of this trend where like animated movies were about like friends kind of breaking up, because I think Wreck-It Ralph 2 came out a couple months after, and that was also like Ralph and Vanellope breaking up, and I can't think of other Pixar movies right now, but it's not about to see by yourself.
Yeah, so I cried a lot.
Cried a lot.
Dude, Toy Story was my childhood.
Toy Story 3, I get crying. They almost die. Like,
Toy Story 3 was also,
Toy Story
I cried.
4, it's just Woody hanging out in like an antique parlor for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, but then when he separates from... Okay. Anyways. So what I was saying was that... So when I saw that movie by myself, I really appreciated the thrill of seeing a movie by yourself. There is a certain thrill to it that you get engrossed in the movie, and there's no distractions, I was zoned in, right? Wouldn't going to see a movie by yourself with somebody else kind of detract from that?
I think the benefit of seeing it with another person is that, when there's like kind of a shocking moment or a really funny moment, sometimes you just kind of want to like turn to a friend and see their reaction too. I don't know. I know, like when you kind of see like when you see Spider-Man in like a packed audience, there's something there. But
that was crazy.
But there's also like that kind of joy of seeing something with a friend. And I think what I liked about the idea of Lonely Cinephiles is sometimes after the movie you just want someone to talk to about it, like immediately afterwards. And also I thought of it as like a way of like maybe I can meet like some interesting people who I wouldn't have met before.
Definitely.
That I know have a shared interest. And so, like, I think out of all the people I invited, I think me and Jose Gonzalez hit it off the best.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of it. That's kind of all I have to say. I do, but so far though, I haven't managed to meet up with another one of them to we've played. Like, I was about to see Matrix with one of them, and then I had to cancel. And there was another movie where Henry was still busy working, so we haven't yet like gotten the ideal like planned meeting yet, but we're working on it.
All right, give it time.
I will.
Give it time. Yeah, that's so cool. I love going out and meeting people. That's actually like really what inspired me to do this. Was like I just want to have as many conversations with as many people as I can. So I just see this as a great medium to do it.
No, it's definitely like your own show, podcast, because now people want to talk to you.
Exactly.
Like before, you're just some guy sitting down next to them at lunch.
Exactly. So
now you're the guy with the show.
What's the incentive to talk to me? But yeah. So
get like a microphone, a cameras. Still so important.
Yeah.
What are you majoring in?
I am majoring in psychology.
Oh, I thought you would have been one of those like shaped media major guys.
So I'm deciding. I think I actually want to go for a shape major in neuropsychology.
Oh, that's like not media. That's like even more. Is that more complicated psychology?
Yeah.
Can you explain neuropsychology to me? Because that just means like psychology in your head, right?
Yeah. So it means combining talk therapy with brain imaging.
Like a Rorschach test?
No, brain imaging is like fMRIs, where they can like imagine taking an X-ray but of your brain.
Isn't that an X-ray? I don't
No.
know.
So an X-ray sees bones. I forget the different types of matter, the difference. But X-rays only pick up bones, and MRIs pick up organs.
So is the fMRI the thing where like they'll kind of hook something up to your head and then they'll give you like a test and then they'll see like what parts of the brain are like solving that test?
Yes. That is what they use. They use fMRIs. So neuropsychology is combining brain imaging and talk therapy, traditional talk therapy.
Okay.
Yeah. So
this is like good therapy practice?
This is definitely good therapy practice. I'm not even sure if I want to go into like clinical psychology though. Like, I just find that fascinating, and I think that it's something that is very useful, and it will be very useful in all emerging fields. I think that we are seeing very rapidly a turnover of the economic playing field.
Can you kind of explain that like in more concrete terms? Because I feel like I
Like,
thought you were
when was the last time you heard of somebody who's a miner?
like a child.
No. Like a pickaxe, you know.
Okay, you're trying to be funny. I really thought
A miner.
I feel like I hear about fracking a lot, but I don't know if that's mining. But individual miners, I do not know.
Okay.
But I hear about like pipelines a lot.
Okay, but it used to be the number one profession in the United States.
Really? Like when? Like I would have thought I thought that was trucking. It's mining was when?
Mining was in like I think in like the 30s and 40s.
Oh, that was like years ago though.
Yeah. So my point is that we see that the economic playing field changes over time.
Okay.
It evolves, and I think that right now with the, I'm sorry, Remy's calling me.
Do you want to pause or? We'll let it.
Said Remy. Remy. Okay, don't worry.
I'll let you know when I get back. We're gonna start packing like maybe at 10:50, 11.
Okay, sweet, awesome. Talk to you later. Enjoy practice.
Baseball?
Thanks, bro. I'll call you when I'm on my way back.
Okay, sweet. Bye.
Is it baseball practice?
I would
it's
assume baseball practice
Yeah.
because the basketball game is happening.
True. I thought the basketball game was over.
It's over?
I imagine it started at 8.
Yeah, probably it's over.
Did you play? Are we still are we back on?
Oh yeah, we're
Okay,
back
great.
on. Yeah.
So you were saying about the like miners were working 100 years ago and now.
Well, in two ways, miners were working 100 years ago.
Oh,
Like miners-
that's clever.
Yes, thank you.
You need
Thank
subtitles for that one.
Yeah. So we see how what's considered like blue collar is changing rapidly. It used to be that filing and basic office work would be your typical blue collar job, but now we're getting computer programs so advanced that it's making all these positions obsolete. So like, I haven't read the book, but my brother-in-law was telling me about this book called Abundance, which pretty much just it's like this.
Is it nonfiction?
What if? Yeah, it's nonfiction. It's like this what if scenario for the future of the economy, and he was just telling me about it, and it's so eye-opening to realize that we are living through this revolution that is gonna leave us obsolete in a lot of areas. And it's happening like more rapidly than we realize.
So then how does psychology play into this?
So what I think is that the one thing that will remain and I'm not sure if it'll remain indefinitely, but definitely not close to where technology is right now, is human interaction. That is going to be the crux of all industries. The human element is only going to be the human interaction. Otherwise, why not just automate it?
Okay.
Right? So I believe that psychology is going to be the most applicable skill within any emerging industry.
Okay. I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping that when you mentioned a book, it was going to be Player Piano by Vonnegut. Have you read that one?
No, what's that?
So that was his first... You know who Kurt Vonnegut is, though?
Yeah, of course. Slaughterhouse 5.
Yeah. Okay, so his first book was called Player Piano, and it's pretty much about a society where, like, almost every job has been automated, and, like, most people are out of work, and the only people who have jobs are the people who kind of, like, manage the robots and the machines and make sure they're running. And then there's, like, this revolution that happens where all the people who are unemployed because of these robots, they kind of, like, destroy all the machines and all the factories. And I don't really remember how it ends. I think it ends with them making, like, a new machine, and they kind of, like, to make things easier for themselves, and it's that kind of pattern repeating. But I don't know, I was hoping that was the book you bring. Isn't that, like, what, like, Andrew Yang talked about a lot? Was, like, automation? Is that his thing?
I don't know who that is.
Andrew Yang?
Who's that?
Oh, he was the politician. He was the Democratic politician.
Oh, I'm not from New York.
Universal basic
I've heard
income.
of him. I've heard of him.
Also ran on the national stage.
Yang Gang.
Yeah. So he talked a lot about...
I'm not from New York.
He talked a lot about, like, how automation was going to put people out of work and that we should institute, like, a universal basic income now so people can kind of start exploring their passions.
Right. So I don't know if I want to get into universal basic income because
I don't
that's
know
a
what it is
whole that's a whole
You need, like, an
rabbit hole.
economics major. Like, I don't really get how inflation
It's a
works.
whole rabbit hole. Yeah. What were we saying? Yeah. So I think that the last human skill that's really going to be of use is going to be interactions, conversations. Shout out to the name of this podcast.
What about those math majors? Who's going to do the calculations? Shout out to the name of the podcast.
Shout out to the name of the podcast. Yeah, but it that just seems like where we're headed, you know?
Yeah, no, it's definitely something to consider. I don't know, I'm like a finance major. Hopefully I'm not obsolete. That's fingers crossed.
Definitely not right now. But what I'm saying is that the job market is going to evolve very rapidly. We see this already. Did you even hear of an NFT a year ago?
No. Was it around a year ago?
They were, I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't be around.
I don't think they should be around. I hate them so much.
Dude, they're going up by like 1,000,000%.
I feel like every time I hear like an NFT going up, I hear about some guy who lost a ton of money on NFTs.
That's because it's like any bubble, that people are going to win and lose. But the idea is that something could enter the market and grow so rapidly is mind-blowing.
Is there like a point, though, to it? Like, I feel like I've heard points to crypto. I don't know if I've ever heard a point for an NFT. Like a use.
I was talking about this on an earlier podcast, and I'm not sure if it's purely just for, like, clout. Like, to be able to say, like, yo, I own President Obama's tweet 4 more years. Like, I could see that being cool. Like, owning a tweet. I don't understand, like, whatever, but I guess it's the same thing with any sort of art form. That, like, I don't understand why somebody would purchase for exorbitant amounts of money some random guy's piece of art just because they think it's really good.
I feel like there's something to be said for something that's like man-made and something that's like just a bunch of pixels on the internet.
Yeah, so that I agree with you there. That, like, I don't see the craftsmanship or the artwork in basic NFTs. I think that there are some people that do really cool stuff on the internet. There was this, oh my goodness, you for sure have heard of it. There was this website that it was right. It was a 1 million by 1 million pixel blank white slate, right? And then every time a user went onto it, they were able to click one tile and color it one thing.
Okay.
And and then they just set it there for like I think it was like 6 months or something. And they publicized this a lot. And it was so cool because you had so many people working together to like paint pictures, and you had, and you could look online at the development of it over time, where you see like somebody paints an American flag, and then somebody paints an Israeli flag over that, and then somebody paints a flag over that, and then whatever. It's just so cool. You see like this development, and I'm sorry, I'll pull it up later what it's called. So I could appreciate digital art. I don't necessarily appreciate like just some picture that some dude made.
But I don't appreciate like buying internet art for an obscene amount of money.
Could you understand buying President Obama's tweet?
No.
No?
I don't know what that means. You own the tweet. Everyone can see the tweet. You just own what, like a picture of the tweet?
No. You own the rights to the tweet?
Can you sell that tweet? Like
Yes.
Put it on a shirt. 4 more years, like a screenshot of Twitter.
I don't know. I actually don't know how it works, but I would assume that buying an NFT essentially means that you're buying the rights to merchandise as well. I know that it
Because
like,
then it's like something, but I wasn't even sure. I don't know. Like if you can put it on a shirt and sell it, then I get it. Okay, because people would want to buy it.
What's the point in owning any sort of art?
I think art just goes up in value, but I think there's typically like art only. I don't know. I feel like when I think about like art, like when you think of like Monet's or Rembrandt's or like Da Vinci's, like there's like the prestige associated with that, and then there's the fact that it's like one of a kind. But I don't feel like NFTs, even though they're technically like this is the only one because they're, I don't know, like on the blockchain, they don't feel like one of a kind because it's
Right,
just
they don't.
internet art.
They don't, but the idea that people are pushing today, going back to the previous conversation about having an economic turnover, is that this is going to be really real really soon. So right now, there's this whole bubble where people aren't sure how much an NFT is going to be worth. But that's the thing. Nobody knows. People are just betting that it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay, all the power to them. I will not be investing in NFTs. I kind of got burned on Dogecoin, so I'm over the these like crypto trends. That's kind of how I feel. Still, I was told by never take investing advice from someone you don't respect. There was a guy.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah, an idiot in my yeshiva last year who comes. I hope he doesn't hear this. He comes up to me and he's like, Elon Musk will go on SNL and Dogecoin will hit $1. I was like, because I'm also an idiot, and I was like, that's sound logic. So I put like $200 in a Dogecoin, and now I have $30.
Yeah, so it's near impossible to tell what is going to survive this evolutionary pruning, but things will survive, and they will be ginormous.
Did you go to the you're not in Sims, right?
No.
So Mark Cuban like did a Zoom call with Sims a couple
Are you serious?
months ago.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
How did I not hear about this?
I think they just sent it to like Sims honors people.
I'm serious.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Siri.
And he said that like he gave us, and what I liked about it more than like other Sim speeches is because he was very practical, and he just kind of listed like the things that are going to matter in 5-10 years. So he said AI, crypto,
For sure.
and smart contracts. And I don't think he said NFTs. But those are 3 things that I definitely need to get like a dummies book on so I can,
I hear
brush
that,
up.
yeah.
Because I still don't get how blockchain works.
The way it was explained to me is that it's like a Chinese finger trap, and like the more people pull on it, the more people use it, the tighter it gets.
Never heard that metaphor.
Oh, that's the metaphor that I heard.
It's an interesting metaphor.
Yeah, so the idea is that the more people, but neither of us are computer experts, so yeah. That's interesting that he said that. AI, crypto, and smart contracts. What are smart contracts?
I don't know.
I also don't know.
I don't know. I feel bad. I feel like that's
Yeah.
a conversation dead end. Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up.
Nah, it's good. It's good. I'm actually part of the AI club.
You're part of the AI. Really?
Yes.
Is that like a psychology thing?
So I'm fascinated about it from a psychological and philosophical perspective.
Ooh, you probably like Blade Runner.
I love Blade Runner.
Oh, nice guess.
Dude, I love all these sorts of these.
Like Westworld.
So I haven't watched Westworld, But
Okay.
but that idea, I am fascinated by it because I forgot where I was going with this.
Robot, AI, and like psychology. the
Right.
connection.
Yeah. So I'm just fascinated by the philosophical and psychological perspective on AI. Like, what does it mean? I keep referencing the previous conversations, but like, what does it mean to be human when robots will be as good or better at everything?
I feel like being a human just means you were like I mean, on a basic level, it's you were just born by humans, right?
Right.
So that's what it means to be
But
human.
What will our role be on this planet?
Hopefully, to be served by robots.
And doing what?
What do we do now? I mean, I don't know. Having families.
There still is, meaning as much as Western civilization has progressed, there still is an aspect of survival that is at the core of our human existence. We're still trying to survive, albeit in a very different manner. We're not hunting and gathering, but we are trying to make a living,
Yeah.
right? So what I'm asking is that, like, what happens, and we see, by the way, we see a clear correlation between more guarantee of survival yields more mental health issues. We see this very clear correlation. Suicide is almost non-existent amongst the lower class.
Huh.
It's actually a privilege of the upper class.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like there's some comedic fodder.
No, there's
there.
definitely something there.
Yeah.
I would have thought that it's one of those things. I would have thought it's one of those things where, like, if not that there's less mental health issues with your poor, or maybe there is, but I would have thought like if you're poor, you're struggling, like you don't have time to worry.
Exactly.
Like if you have anxiety.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you don't even have. So when you're hunting and gathering, you don't have time to worry about how you look.
Well, maybe not that. More like not that you're unable to be anxious. More like you don't have time to consider if you're anxious. Like you don't have time to go and get that diagnosed. You don't have time to see a therapist and talk about like your anxiety or your depression. But like if you have money, then you can probably afford to consider it.
Okay, interesting. You want to say, I haven't thought about that.
I don't know if that's. I mean, but like
it could just be undiagnosed.
suicide is like that's kind of a clear metric. I don't know if mine's right.
But yeah, so suicide is a privilege of the upper class.
Really?
Yeah, fascinating. We find it most in first world upper class countries.
Huh.
Yeah, like it's really wild.
Guess like when you know the grass doesn't get any more green.
So that's what I'm saying. When I keep saying robots, and robots makes me sound like some weird conspiracy theorist, but like when artificial intelligence becomes GAI is the term, general artificial intelligence.
That means like it's
not just smart.
distinguishable from humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Right? So that'll be like everybody on planet Earth has reached the peak. What do we do now?
Hopefully, just enjoy things. I don't know. That's like the hopeful answer. Do we really think like once we have GAI, as you put it, like everyone will just stop working?
Oh, AGI.
Oh, sorry.
My
AGI?
bad. Yeah.
Like everyone will just stop working? That's kind of what would happen?
I mean, theoretically, like going back to that Kurt Vonnegut book that you brought, but like there had to be people who monitored the robots.
Yeah, they were like the upper class.
Once we get artificial general intelligence, according to pretty much every single thinker out there, we only get one shot at creating artificial general intelligence, because as soon as it starts to learn, as soon as it's capable of learning general things, as opposed to just a narrow, specific artificial intelligence, then it's just going to keep learning, and it's going to learn so fast. Think of how many computations a computer can do in a second.
Okay, yeah, a lot.
Right. So imagine a computer learning at that rate.
Kind of hope we don't get it now. I'm okay with the way things are.
So most thinkers are of the opinion that we're only going to get one shot at artificial general
But
intelligence.
like, what does that mean? Because I mean, like, I kind of associate if we mess up, like what happens? Like it either doesn't work and then we just keep try. Like I don't really get the phrase one
if
shot.
it doesn't work, then we get another shot.
Yeah, so we
Right. But if it works, once it works, there's no going back.
You're saying we can't undo it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the point.
Because it can keep itself going.
Exactly.
There won't be some kind of kill switch. Like we wouldn't develop a way of turning it off.
So there are. I read this book called Life 3.0 by Max Tegmark, where he describes a theoretical scenario where people invented artificial general intelligence, but they kept it on a closed network, right? So then maybe you would be able to shut it down because it's a closed network. But if it's connected to the internet, what are you going to do? Shut down the internet?
I don't know. You can't like just I would just imagine you'd develop some way of turning it off, right? Like everything has an on and off switch.
Yeah. So again, I don't know enough about computer engineering to say.
And you're in the AI. What is the AI Club?
The AI Club, and so the Artificial Intelligence Machine Learning Club, is a club where we discuss artificial intelligence and machine learning.
So how often do you discuss it? Because I've noticed there's a trend in YU clubs that they tend to be like a board of maybe like 4 to 5 people, and then that board just plans like 2 events a semester. So I'm curious, does this AI club, do you guys actually have like weekly meetings or more regular meetings, or do you just have a couple events?
No, we just have a couple events.
And you just talk about AI? Do you guys have a speaker?
Yeah, so I'm actually running the next event.
Okay, what are you guys doing?
I got 2 speakers.
Oh.
Yeah, very excited. Don't want to say their names yet, but, you know.
Is it the black lesbian comedian?
Not the black lesbian comedian. I don't know if she's an expert in AI. She might be. I don't know.
Bring it up at...
So I got 2 pretty big names in the AI world.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to tell me so.
Yeah. So like in the...
That's impressive. I have no idea how I would get people for the comedy club, so...
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Like last time we had a round robin, which was really cool. All the different co-presidents made a...
What is a round? Can you explain that to me?
A round robin is basically like 4 or 5 different presentations going on at once, and then crowds move from one presentation to the next.
Oh, that's an interesting event.
Yeah, so it was cute. It was cute. I spoke about... my presentation was really just different artificial intelligence programs that we already have. Like, there are some crazy ones out there. There are some silly ones, you know, like...
I've seen some of the silly ones.
Exactly. There are plenty of silly ones. Like, I saw one that can caption and edit any single photo to be a Stranger Things poster. Right? And it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then there's thispersondoesnotexist.com.
Oh, and they like generate photos of people that look real?
It generates photos of faces that are completely fictitious people.
Because there isn't a matching photo on the internet.
No, there is no matching photo on the internet.
So that's kind of how it knows they don't exist.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly. So it completely fabricates a face, and now that was the sort of thing that I'm like, okay, so this is kind of cool, but what practical application does it have? Then I showed them this website called Synthesia.io, which took faces from This Person Does Not Exist, and then put them on figures, and now I don't know exactly how, but they program those figures to be able to speak.
Oh, that's like a deep fake.
So it's like a deep fake, but with a fake person.
Even
so like
deeper fake.
Exactly, it's crazy. It's crazy. So.
But I mean, I don't know. When I hear those, I don't really think artificial intelligence. I just think computer programs because it can only do one thing, right?
So that's the thing. The place where it gets intelligent is that with This Person Does Not Exist is that people rate it. People rate how realistic the picture is, and then every single time you refresh the page, it gets more and more accurate.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's mad cool. I saw like another thing called like Google Draw. Oh my god, this was the craziest thing in the world. So what it did was, it was 2 separate programs. One, they wrote out, they asked people to draw things, and then the computer program tried to guess what they were drawing, right? Then they took those drawings, right? They put them into a different program where a person could speak out a story, and then it animates the story using those pictures.
That's pretty
So
intelligent.
it's insane. You see the video. It's like this person saying, like, there was a man walking down the street and there was a tree on his left, and then you see like the screen drawing out a man walking down the street with the tree on his left, and it is so cool, and it's like solid animation.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. So I was wondering, are you down to like?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you want to pick a card out at random?
Yeah, just to confirm, you were filming me when I said the icebreaker joke, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So I just read it to you.
Yeah.
What are the colors? Do you know?
So apparently they're different categories.
So this orange one is like beliefs.
Okay.
Okay, so what beliefs would you want to pass on to your children or grandchildren? So I answer it?
You can answer it. I'll answer it.
Okay, so I think Judaism would probably be number one. That's definitely something I want to pass on to my children. And then that's kind of like the one belief. I also definitely want them to like Stephen King. That's more like a culture thing. That's huge. Like Stephen King and Martin Scorsese are like my two favorite pop culture figures, so they definitely need to like them. And then also, and I think this is like an attribute more people should have, is the ability to kind of like call out an injustice done by your own side. And what I mean by that is, it's like when I was growing up, right? You probably had this too. When you would play basketball as a kid, you know what a teammate call is? Are you familiar with that concept?
No.
Okay, so when we would play basketball in elementary school, and let's say me and you are on the same team, and someone on the other team accuses you of a foul, right? So the game would kind of stop, and both sides would be going back and forth. If I were to go and say, like, you fouled, then that would be what we'd call a teammate call, and the fact
And
that...
it's done.
Yeah, it's done. Now it's a foul.
Okay.
So I think... And then most of the time when you're, like, in elementary school, you don't mind doing a teammate call because no one really cares. And then by the time you get to high school, when people are taking these games, like, really seriously, you do not want to be the guy making a teammate call.
Yeah.
And now, like, especially in, like, a lot of areas of society today, but, like, specifically politics, nobody will make a teammate call. So if someone on your own, like, side of the political aisle especially will do something kind of, like, heinous, you won't criticize it because you don't want the other side to then latch on. So you suddenly end up defending things you personally disagree with just because they're on your team.
Whoa. Yeah.
And, like, you see that a lot, especially, like, politically. I think this is most clear when you look at, like, January 6th and the BLM riots where, like, very few, like, major Republican, like, congressmen are, like, going out and calling out January 6th because it's their own side. And they don't think... So they're, like, while I bet none of them are supporting it, they're not going to go and say, like, these are terrorists ransacking the Capitol, so they got to go and call it, like, light vandalism or light trespassing. And meanwhile, on the left, with the BLM rights, they're not going to go out and call it the property damage because then they'd be agreeing with the right, and they don't think the right's going to call it their own side. So they're like, 99% of them were peaceful or it was for a good cause. And I just think more people should be willing to kind of call out their own teammates. And that is like a belief that I would hopefully my kids would agree with.
I feel exactly the same way. It's funny that you bring that up, by the way, the January 6th and BLM in conjunction, because on Sunday, we're going to be discussing January 6th and the BLM riots, and I took the same exact stance, or I will be taking the same exact stance
here's
as
what
you.
you need to say. You
Okay.
need to say, January 6th is worse than any one day of the BLM riots. The totality of the BLM riots is worse than January 6th.
So I have some stats written down, like how many people died, and how much property damage occurred, and whatever.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I really hope so.
So you have the stats and...
Yeah, so I have the stats written down, and it's like, what I'm really trying to go for is to try and be as personable as possible on this show, because I know that I'm going to be taking some opinions that other people will not like, and I'm going to try my best to provide nuance and not just spit facts. So, like, I want somebody able to not, because, like, I was just reading this, an article, I forgot who it's by, called Why Facts Don't Change Your Feelings.
No, it sounds. I want to hear this.
Yeah, and basically it was just talking about how we have these preconceived notions, and it's called the something bias. I forgot.
Confirmation?
The confirmation bias. Thank you. It's called the confirmation bias, right? Where we will look for evidence and only take evidence that supports our preconceived notions. So just spitting facts at somebody is not going to change the way they think. So what I'm really hoping for is to be able to be personable and provide nuance.
So you guys are talking. You guys are going to talk about Dave Chappelle's The Closer and January 6th in BLM, and this is all in like the first episode, or are you guys filming multiple episodes?
We're
on
filming
Sunday?
one season.
All the entire season on Sunday?
Yeah.
How many episodes is that?
I believe 6.
And how long is each episode?
An hour.
Oh my god, this is a long day.
It's gonna be a really long day.
This is so interesting.
It's gonna be a full day Sunday.
This is I don't know how you this is wow. Were they looking for a Jew? Like, were you?
They did not. They were not looking for a Jew. They didn't even know what they were looking for. And as soon as I said, like, hey, I'm an Orthodox Jew, they're like, boom, you're our guy.
I'm so curious about how this works. Can you explain the audition process for like the show?
So for this show in particular, basically I wrote up a resume and I auditioned. They liked my resume, so I got an interview.
Okay.
And then at the interview, they were like, so, you're Jewish. Do you want to tell us about that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm Orthodox. I'm very religious. And they were like, they liked what I had to say, but they liked even more that I was an Orthodox Jew. And I'm actually not sure what they liked more.
So did they ask you for like your opinion on certain issues or topics?
Yeah. So they asked me like, what are my thoughts on like abortion and stuff like that. Like, yeah, heavy topics, right? And they really liked that I was able to provide them with a Jewish perspective on it, not just another opinion.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm very scared to like be representing Jews.
I would just be a little. I know sometimes I feel like it's overblown, but there was a couple times when I was writing my routine where I was like, would I want this, if I ever got famous, would I want someone like putting one of these jokes on my Twitter page and like trying to, I don't know, I'm not, so I would just, I don't know, that would be kind of my big fear about doing like a talk show would be like, okay, just gotta be careful. You don't want to say anything like that could be really misconstrued.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm very nervous about it.
And you said you met some of the people already, right?
Yeah, I met all of them.
So like, are they nice?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get into any debates, but they seem like nice people.
That's important.
Yeah.
A Roku show. This is, no, I mean, the free Roku app. No money. Just you might want to, you want to say that so people. It's not behind a paywall.
Nope. Tune in. Not live, I don't think.
So humanity and...
Humility of Humanity.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
So, what would I want to pass on to my kids? I think that I would want to pass on 2 things. Curiosity and humor. And I think that from those 2 character traits, they will eventually arrive at the same conclusions that I've arrived at, and will hopefully lead similar lifestyles.
Okay, it's a good answer.
Yeah, I think that a healthy dose of curiosity and humor will bring them to a healthy place.
And I'd assume you'd want them to be Jewish also.
Well, yes. So I'm trying to like minimize it as much as possible. You know, like I could say a whole laundry list of things I want my kids to be like.
Okay.
You know, like I want them to be artists, and I want them to be scientists, and I want them to whatever. Like I want a whole lot of things for my kids. You know, I want the world for my kids. I don't have any kids, but I want the world for them.
How many kids would you want? Ideal number.
I don't know. There are days when I'm like, yo, I want as many as possible. And then there are days where I'm like I'm a family of 6.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, 6 sounds nice. 6 sounds nice. Like, I don't know about like 12.
No, did I meet your cousin at Muggenov?
Yes.
That was your cousin, okay. He also came from a big family, I think.
He's from a very big family.
Yeah.
They're 10.
Okay, so I'm good with I come from a family of 4. I definitely don't want more than 4. 3 or 4 would be ideal for me.
Yeah. So I don't know. And maybe just like spending so much time in Israel and like you see these families of like 15 kids and I'm like, it's pretty cool.
You did 1 year in Israel or 2?
I did 3.
Oh, wow, that is a lot of years in Israel.
Yeah.
Where'd you go, Nativ?
TC?
Oh, I think we talked about it. You know my cousin Yossi and
Yossi
Greenspan?
Yes. Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
Shar HaTorah.
I don't know
Queens.
where that is. Oh, Queens.
Yeah.
Okay, I went
So
to Skokie.
I've been around. I've been around the block.
It's a nice block.
Yeah, nice block. Wait, so you went to Skokie?
And then you're in Mevaseret.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, it's a fun place.
Dope. I have a lot of friends in Skokie and a lot of friends in Mevaseret. That's awesome. I would play Jewish geography now, but
no, it's not really podcast.
Yeah, not really
topics.
podcast vibe.
We kind of did it a bit with the cousins. I apologize.
It's good. It's good.
We'll edit it out.
Yeah. I actually don't think I'm going to edit it out.
Do you know how to edit things out?
So, I'm learning on the fly, but huge shout out to Binyamin Rosagru.
The producer?
So, he was the guest on the second episode, and he just approached me, and he's like, yo, I really like what you're doing, and I know how to edit. And I'm like, okay, yes, please. Thank you. so that's how that worked out.
It's convenient.
Yeah, that definitely, thank God. Because I was literally sitting here for like 3 hours before, just like editing it's like one thing to edit audio by itself.
Okay.
That's not so difficult, but to edit audio and 2 cameras.
That's hard.
Yeah, so I was like trying to figure it out and whatever. I'm still in the middle of it, but
Certainly ambitious, because I would think like if you're starting out a podcast, you wouldn't even worry about the video.
yeah. So I initially wasn't, but I feel like it adds a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if I list like even personally if I'm doing a podcast, I'm not gonna put the video on, just because like typically you do podcast and something else,
Right.
so I don't need the video. But I understand why some people like it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like not only does it create more avenues to be viewed, but I think that it does something to the actual conversation itself. I was talking to my friends, like after we did an episode, we realized that the microphone being present does something palpable to the conversation. You know what I mean? How like you talk differently. Funny things are funnier, and sad things are sadder, and profound things are more profound. Like it has this really weird effect, and I think that that's only multiplied by the cameras.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was a little doing better before I realized we had started filming. I thought that was so like weird. Why are we rehearsing for 30 minutes? My dad tried to do a podcast once. It was terrible. He was so bad at the editing, and like I think he thought he had deleted something, but he hadn't, so he ended up just repeating the same story twice. It was like a cute and noble attempt. And then I had given him terrible podcasting advice, and I had told him, you should have segments, and maybe like one of the segments should be like some pop culture review or something. And so he goes on like this 10-minute diatribe about this obscure reality show called like Married at First Sight. And he sends us the podcast, and like the first 20 minutes are his thoughts on like politics and philosophy, and the last 10 minutes are about like this Bachelor ripoff.
Dude, that's awesome.
He
You should continue it. Come on, you should continue it.
No, maybe it's better for us if he doesn't. It's cool. He got into hypnotism, so that's his new hobby.
That's really cool.
COVID, he was one of those COVID hobbyists. So he'd always wanted to learn hypnotism.
I wish I was.
And then, I just crossed like 100 movies off my watch list. That's what
Same.
he signed up for like this hypnotism website. And so he started learning hypnotism, and then through that website, you also get like access to the handwriting analysis lessons.
Ooh, that's cool.
So if you want
cryptography.
I think cryptography is like codes and puzzles. This is called graphology.
Oh, graphology. That's what I meant. Yeah, graphology.
So you can send me a handwriting sample in cursive, a paragraph. I'll on unlined paper,
right.
And I'll send it to my dad, and he can tell you like
cool.
if you're greedy or shy or what your sexual orientation is. That's go to always.
Wow.
It's called like For My Friend's Gay.
Wow.
You also draw like a tree, and I don't know if He can tell like weird
That's
things.
the thing, right? If you draw I've heard of this. If you draw the owl hole, then it.
So there's the tree. There's like, do you draw branches? Do you draw sun in the corner? Do you draw ground beneath the tree? How do you draw your leaves? I don't know. So there's different things in the trees. That's what he did. So then the problem is he can never hypnotize anyone in his immediate family because we don't take him seriously. So he'll start like being like, oh, relax. Imagine
And you're just like...
you start giggling, and then he starts laughing, and then he throws his hands up in the air, and he's like, you're a terrible hypnotic subject. And he kind of storms off all sad. But he put a cousin of mine in a trance for like 20 minutes, so he's
That's
got
wild.
some skills.
That's wild. I don't know. I got hypnotized once, I should say I didn't. I didn't get hypnotized once.
What does that mean?
Meaning I was the subject
Okay.
of hypnosis, like
Yeah.
on a show.
Oh, like a camp thing?
Yeah, and then like I feel bad admitting this now, but it's like it's a while later, so I can admit it. I totally faked it. I faked the whole thing.
Were there other people on stage with you?
Yeah.
And you didn't? Okay.
Yeah,
I've had suspicion.
I totally faked the whole thing.
There was one time in Muggenhof we had a hypnotist, and there was one kid who was like, just looked so much faker than all the others. And so everyone ganged up on him after the show, and they're like, admit you're faking. And he's like, no, I actually don't remember any of it. And I think he was lying. And now I have like anecdotal evidence.
Insider evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys on stage, they faked it.
I like to think I'm too smart to be hypnotized, because he didn't, but he really just didn't pick me. He did like a little tryout, and I didn't make it.
Do you want to do another card?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll
Alright.
go as long as you want me to. This
Pick
is
a
fun.
card at random.
I mean, I don't know. We probably feel like we've been talking for like an hour. I mean, you can, if you want me to leave, you just say the word.
Dude,
Okay.
I'm game for as long as you're game.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, like 3 hours with Yitzy Warren. I don't know. People are gonna click on that one. Okay. Oh, this is a tough one. Where in your life could courage create closure? Can you answer this one? Because I honestly don't know how to answer this one.
Where in your life could courage create closure?
I have no idea how to answer that question. I don't even. I'll be honest. I don't even understand really what it. Like, I kind of get what it means, but do you have an example? Do you want to pick another card? I'm kind of confused by this one.
So, I'm not sure if this is quite answering the question, but like, I spoke about this on a previous podcast that I have like I had crazy social anxiety, and I was always very concerned about what people are thinking of me. And doing this podcast was a huge step, because ta-da, it's like,
I mean, it's hard to imagine you having social anxiety. Like, you're going on a Roku talk show.
so that's something like, I thank God I've come a very far way.
You've done like, I believe you've done multiple like plays for YU, right? Because you're on the drama. Oh, I thought you were on.
It's my first semester.
Oh, I thought you were on like the board though.
I am.
You just made the board?
Yeah.
You have like experience?
I mean, I've been acting. Yeah.
Okay.
I have experience acting, but
You did like school plays?
I did school plays. I did a couple of like short films
Really?
and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah. So there's one that's coming out any day now
That's so cool.
called Hugo. I'll show it to you.
What, like, by who made it, dude? Is it like a guy I've heard of?
No. Some like all these, like, I get all these off backstage.
So they're
all
like student filmmakers?
student filmmakers or like independent filmmakers, stuff like that.
Do you get paid if it's an independent one?
Yeah, sometimes.
That's cool. What's Hugo?
So Hugo is the story of a boxing prodigy.
Is that you?
I
Were
played
you
Hugo.
the boxing prodigy?
I was the boxing prodigy.
Nice. You probably have to like do like a ton of. Do you actually have to like do like some Rocky montage stuff?
You understand? I was literally in heaven there, because we were getting B-roll of just like, training and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is so cool. This is so cool. Oh my gosh, I got so into it for like a month straight. I was just like, I was in the gym just with the punching bag. My knuckles were bleeding every day. It was great.
That's cool.
It was so much fun. Yeah. So the story is, it's a short film. So
What is that, like 25 minutes?
I think it's supposed to be 15.
Okay.
And basically he's this boxing prodigy who's the son of a boxing prodigy.
Okay, Creed. White Creed.
Right. But his father failed in his boxing career.
Okay.
I don't know if this is Creed. I haven't seen the first one.
No, I'm saying, but like Apollo Creed dies in Rocky 4.
Right.
So there's like a death in the family. But is this more like a failure, like an on the waterfront boxing failure?
I don't know what that means.
That's
but
where the guy...
basically he doesn't do well in his professional career.
And on the waterfront, the guy like took a dive in a fight and he got caught, so he was kind of like banned from professional boxing.
Oh yeah, it doesn't really specify what exactly happened.
An ambiguous boxing failure.
Yeah, an ambiguous boxing failure, and so he pretty much puts all of his faith in his son.
Ooh.
And the movie just shows the slow progression of the father taking out all of his anger at himself on his son.
Ooh, who's the father actor? Is he good?
He was great.
The way you're describing it, he sounds really good.
He was great.
Is he scary?
Kind of scary.
Kind of scary.
Kinda
Was he
scary.
like...
He's really nice in person.
Have you seen the movie Whiplash?
Yes,
So
he was the teacher. He was the teacher.
Wait, same actor?
No,
Oh
no,
my God, if
no,
you met J.K. Simmons, I would've
no,
freaked out.
No, not J.K. Simmons. Not J.K. Simmons. No, that would be wild.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons on the pod if you met him.
Yeah, dude, that would be crazy.
But he was playing like the same character.
Yeah, same type of character, and then the movie ends. I'll spoil it, because it's only 15 minutes, so it's not like.
Yeah.
But the movie ends where Hugo gets so pressured by his father to the point that he quits.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, it's the last thing you walk out of a gym?
Yeah,
Door closes, last shot?
Actually, the last shot is no, that's the second to last shot. The last shot, second to last shot is me closing the door of the gym, me throwing open the door of the gym and walking out.
And then his last shot, the dad's face as the
and
light
the last
from the
shot
door
is the dad's
closes.
face.
And the light from the door is maybe on it, and then the door closes.
That's
Okay.
exactly
Yeah.
that is the last shot.
I've seen movies. That's so is that going to a festival, or are they just like putting it on
they're
Vimeo?
submitting it to film festivals.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Oh my god, I'm so jazzed. I've written a pilot screenplay.
Are you serious?
No one's put it on or anything, but I kind of wanted to be a screenwriter for a while, so this was like the first thing I wrote, like start to finish, in the actual screenplay format, because I hate that stupid format. It's so annoying.
It does seem very...
X dot.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna like pay for final draft, so I'm doing it on Word, and so it's about. Do you want to hear what it's about?
Yes, of course.
Okay, fine. So, and I'll send it to you afterwards. So
All right, awesome.
The title's the worst part. It's called Criminal in the Rye, because I really liked Catcher in the Rye, and also because I kind of like relate way too strongly to stories about like white people who are disappointed in their own lives. So I'm just gonna name movies that kind of in that genre. So like Fight Club. Have you seen that one?
Okay, yeah, great
American
movie.
Beauty.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
No.
Falling Down.
Nope.
Office Space.
Nope.
Okay, so these are all movies from 1999 in like the sad white people genre.
Okay.
Great genre. And you could also put maybe like the first 10 minutes of The Matrix in this genre.
Okay.
And so the premise is you have like this 17-year-old named Calvin who's just very bored with his life. He doesn't seem to be like getting any enjoyment out of it. And he also doesn't like foresee any enjoyment out of it.
Why? Is it because the robots are doing everything for him?
No, it is not. No, it takes place in 2021. And he decides, to kind of just like, maybe he kind of gets this idea, like, if I put my life in danger, maybe that will make me appreciate my own life more.
Interesting.
So he Googles, what are the most dangerous cities in the United States? And he sees, like, Detroit on the list. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to take all my money, 17 years old, just go to Detroit. And hang out in Detroit for a bit, maybe get up to some trouble, and, like, I'll see what happens. And then while that's going on, there's this parallel story where you have this kind of crime boss named Truth, because he doesn't tell lies. And I thought that was a cool character trait, and I think it's a little cheesy
great.
now. But I like him because he's very threatening, but he's also like, because like when he says he'll hurt you, he will hurt you. And like if he says he wasn't, okay, he won't, you can trust him. And what happens is he kidnaps this girl, right, this rich girl. So while Calvin's going to Detroit, you have Truth in Detroit with this girl, Sydney. And Calvin goes to Detroit, and he just kind of starts like walking around and just kind of like trying to befriend some of like the random people he sees on the street corners, like drug addicts and prostitutes. He's just like, hello there, like prostitute, like how's it going? She's like, get out of here, like I'm trying to sell my wares. And he goes to like a drug addict, and the drug addict tries to attack him, and he gets kind of like really discouraged because he's like, I thought I'd have some kind of fun here, and no one's being nice. And he goes to like this party. I'm just gonna go through the whole story of the pilot.
All right,
so
awesome.
He goes to this house party, right? Now Truth has a son named Malcolm, right? And Malcolm's kind of like the arrogant, like, son of a crime boss, kind of spoiled, thinks he's all, like, cool and tough, but,
right.
He's really just the son of his dad. And Truth, sorry, never pitched it before, so I'm getting bad at the storytelling aspect.
Nah, dude, it's good. It's
so
good.
Truth pretty much plans on returning Sydney for a ransom, and his henchman wants to return Sydney in like the Mercedes, right? Because it's a nice car. So he puts Sydney in the trunk of the Mercedes with the plan of, in a couple of hours, dropping her off at some neutral location. Now, Truth's son Malcolm, not realizing there's an unconscious girl in the trunk of this Mercedes, takes the Mercedes to a house party in Detroit that Calvin kind of just wanders into. So Malcolm gets to this party, and the host is a friend with Malcolm, and the host is like, hey, Malcolm, if you want to look cool in front of your girlfriend, there's some guy who just crashed this party. I don't know who he is. Why don't you just go beat him up? And, you'll look cool. So Malcolm goes and just kind of, beats up Calvin and kind of tosses him out of the party. And this guy, Sam, sees this, and he kind of feels bad for Calvin because he was talking to him earlier. And Sam's, this 30-year-old guy who still kind of just doesn't really do anything, just hangs out in, the criminal parts of Detroit. And so he goes out with Calvin, and he's like, hey, Calvin, Malcolm's kind of a jerk. Why don't we go steal his car with the unconscious girl in the trunk? So they go out and steal this car, and meanwhile, Truth is freaking out because he has to return this girl because he promised he would return this girl, and now he's a liar. So Calvin and Sam, decides to show Calvin some fun, and he asks, Sam, what does he want? And Sam asks Calvin, what do you want? And Calvin's like, I just kind of want some excitement from my life. And Sam is like, no, I meant a material good, something you could get at a Best Buy. Calvin's like, well, why are you limiting me to a Best Buy? And Sam's like, because we're going to go rob that Best Buy right now. That's the activity. So they go out and they rob the Best Buy, and then they make a getaway in the Mercedes. Now, while that's going on, Malcolm realizes his car's been stolen, and he's freaking out because that was his dad's nicest car. So his friend is the host is like, why don't we go out looking for it? And they can't find that Mercedes, but they find a different Mercedes. So the host goes to Malcolm, he's like, if your Mercedes got stolen and you steal a different Mercedes, your dad will still respect you. So Malcolm goes and attempts to steal the Mercedes, and he kind of just gets the crap beaten out of him. Does not steal the Mercedes. Gets the crap, just gets beaten up really badly. And then the last scene of the show is Sam and Calvin realizing that the cops have kind of made the Mercedes and they can't really use it anymore. And to get rid of it, they kind of push it into a lake, killing Sydney and setting up what could be a season or series-long conflict with Truth because they destroyed his $10 million ransom.
No.
And that would be it.
Oh my gosh, I just got so invested in that. Oh my goodness.
It. And it would kind of be of the tone of Shameless, where it's mostly comedy, but then moments of drama. So it's 45 pages, and that's the pilot. So that's what I wrote.
Dude, I love it. I love the concept.
I think it's a good concept.
Yeah, I love the concept.
My uncle had some notes. Uncle was a little harsh.
Okay, but we got to learn to take criticism.
Can I hear about some? Did you do any other short films? Because this is so cool to me.
So I did a couple of background work.
What is
bunch
that?
Of background work. So that's not as fun.
That's an extra?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's it was an experience. It was cool to be on a really AAA budget.
Wait, that was extra of real movies?
Yeah.
Oh, which ones?
So this new movie that's coming out called Bros.
Oh, that's Billy Eichner. That's the
Billy
gay
Eichner.
romantic comedy.
Yes, the gay rom-com.
So you saw them film a scene?
I saw them film a scene.
In New York?
It was in New Jersey, but yeah.
Was it funny?
So I gotta say, behind the scenes is not funny.
But I'm saying you saw them, you heard them do the scene, right?
Yeah, I was standing right there.
How was the dialogue? Was it funny?
It seemed kind of funny. It wasn't so funny after hearing it 30 times.
And then what do? You're just sitting there eating food or something?
So I was a guy in the gym.
Oh, it's a gym scene. I can never do this. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing in a gym. In Mivaseret, I was with a friend, and we were just randomly lifting weights, and I think I permanently broke my arm. I don't think it can fully extend. At the time, it was very apparent that it was not fully extending. It could only make a 178-degree angle.
Right.
And now I can't tell if it's straight or if my mind. I can't tell if it's straight and my mind is just preconditioned to now always view it as angled, or if it's actually just damaged. And I'm scared to go to a doctor. I don't want to find out.
Dude, you should check that out.
I can use it. I can go I can lift things. But yeah, no, I'm bad in gyms. That's so cool. Which other ones have you done?
So I did. This was actually wild. I got flown out. I can't believe I'm saying this.
As an extra?
No. For a YouTube web series.
What's it called?
I'm not saying.
Oh, did you sign an NDA?
I signed an NDA.
Is it out yet?
No, it's not out yet. And even if I wouldn't have signed the NDA, there's not a chance in heck that I ain't letting anybody see that.
And this is all like from backstage.com?
Yeah.
So you don't have like an agent or a manager?
Oh, so I actually just got an agent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Because of like the Roku deal?
Not because of it, but possibly influenced by it.
Did you like seek him out or did he come to you?
No, I seeked him out.
That's so cool. Okay, can you, where did you go for this YouTube show? Like what state, what city?
To San Jose, California.
Okay, and are you embarrassed by it?
Very. Because it was like super low budget and it was like...
I'm saying it's a YouTube, when you say it's a YouTube web series, was it like produced by YouTube or YouTubers?
No, YouTubers.
Was it like the Logan Paul people?
I mean, it wasn't those people, but
was
like...
it the Hype House?
It wasn't anybody like super famous.
How are they flying people out if they're not famous?
I'll be honest, I don't know.
Was it like one of those fear pong things?
No, it was. I'm telling you, it's nothing you've ever heard of.
Was it one of those things where it's like 10
white
guys and a black girl, and she has to like answer questions? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I've seen those thumbnails.
Nothing like that. No. It was acting. It was like a TV series.
But on YouTube?
Yeah.
Do you know what those people have done before? As in, like, 'cause there was one YouTube web show I watched, and I liked it a lot. And I'm going to ask, was it by those people who made the series where, like, there's a game show and a bunch of people are, like, in these, like, different cells, and each cell has a puzzle?
So it was not that?
But do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
That was really good. That was highly produced. I can't believe you're not telling me. I'm a little upset, but okay, fine.
I'm sorry. I'm like... It was a great experience. It was so much fun. I mean, listen, like, why would I not do that? You know, I'm getting flown out, an Airbnb, and I'm getting paid.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm like, yo, of course I'm gonna do this. It happens to be. It was a very low budget. Whoa. It was a very low budget production. So like, I don't know how I would feel about like advertising that I did this.
I don't know why you're so like, unless you did something embarrassing in the video. I don't do anything
embarrassing in the video. It's just like I remember.
Do you want me to close the window?
Yeah, maybe we close the window.
Oh, it's a heavy window. Jesus.
So like, I remember when I was a kid, I made a YouTube video with my friend, right? And it was just like us being silly.
Okay.
Right? It wasn't anything like really embarrassing, but I just remember like being so embarrassed from the fact that like I'm doing something on YouTube that people are watching that's not good. You get what I mean?
Oh, 100%. When I was
like,
in...
It's one thing, I would do silly things if it was like done well.
And this was not done well, this YouTube show.
Listen, for what they had, I mean, they did a great job.
I'm so curious.
Maybe I'll tell you.
When it comes out, can you tell us?
Maybe.
Okay. When I was like in middle school, I would play, I kind of figured out how I can like hook up my PS4 to my YouTube account and do like a live stream.
That's so awesome. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while.
No, you don't. Trust me. This was like, I'm playing this video game Just Cause 3, and I'm like kind of narrating it, and then I go and I post the video on YouTube, and then when I get to high school, my friends find out, and they're just making fun of me because it's terrible. And the last 5 minutes of the video are me just struggling to turn it off. like you see, like the game's gone, and I'm on like the PS4 help screen, and I'm like, is it off now? Is it off? No, it's not off. And so that was something where like I deleted that off my YouTube channel as soon as I figured out how to do that, and that's kind of it. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
When did you start like acting and like getting like these extra roles and...
So like really started doing it 3-4 months ago.
Oh wow, you made a lot of headway.
Thank you.
In 3-4 months, you're like a boxing prodigy, like in a Billy Eichner movie, and David Dobrik's YouTube channel. That's crazy.
Not David Dobrik's YouTube channel.
Josh Peck's?
No. I'm telling you, it's not.
The guy who got like hit in the face with a machine, the barber guy. David Dobrik's barber friend.
Oh, Jeff Weddick.
Yeah, the guy who like like, you know, he hit a crane with his face, that guy?
Yeah, no.
Did he give you a haircut?
No.
They made you sign an NDA that's so, like, is that, like, I guess, I don't know if it's standard. I assume it's standard.
Yeah, it's standard, and also, like, I don't know how legit of an NDA it was. Like, it was, but, like, still, you know, don't want to...
No, you don't want to make them mad.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, we got time if you're down.
I'll do one more card.
All right,
and then I feel bad for the listeners. Like, I don't know how much you're gonna edit this. This is, how long have we been going? Hour and a half?
120.
Oh my god. We're like almost longer than the film Good Boys. Like, that's an absurd length to just hear me talk. Ooh, great question. Saddest memory from your childhood.
Ooh.
I gotta think about this one for a second.
I don't know if I feel comfortable sharing this on
saddest one. You can always cut it out.
Yeah. Saddest
memory. Ooh. It's probably death, right? Saddest one.
I mean, I know mine. It was the death of a friend.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to pick a lighter card? This part out, please,
lighter
I can't think of something. We will actually cut that out. You know how to edit now? Okay, where was the blue?
Well, I don't know how to edit, but
get the guy.
Benjamin does.
Ooh, okay, this is a great one. What decision in your life felt scary at the time, but looking back was the best decision you could have made? So I know which one this one is for sure. So I'll go first. It's definitely high school. So I lived in Houston, and the only high school there was Barron, which was kind of a co-ed, not so religious school. And so most of my friends in, like, my community were going away for high school. So choosing that school was definitely pretty scary, because I was choosing between, like, MTA and Skokie. And it was also, like, I knew nobody really in either school. So definitely the biggest decision I've ever made. And so definitely pretty scary. And I chose Skokie because it was, at the time, was, like, more suited for out-of-towners. Like, they had, like, a cafeteria, and they would just make food for the out-of-towners, which MTA didn't really have at the time. MTA also only really had, like, 10 dormers, and Skokie had 40. So I chose Skokie and immediately felt regret, because it was, like, definitely just education-wise paled in comparison to what I thought MTA would be. And at the time, I thought, okay, this is terrible. Like, I won't get into a good college, and, like, I won't learn anything. And, well, I learned stuff. And, you know, I made some of the best friends, like, I'll ever make in my life. And I got, like, almost full autonomy with the perm spiel. So definitely best decision I could have made.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you have one?
Do I have one?
Or
decision? You know, like, I'm very happy with where I am in life, and I would attribute that to, like, the sum total of all of my decisions. I gotta say, like I decided. I think what started it off was the decision to go away for high school.
You went away for high school too?
I did.
Oh, I thought you lived in Queens.
No, I live in Miami.
Oh, that's not Queens.
Yeah,
and you
not
have
Queens.
A lot of options in Miami too, right? Like for high schools?
Not a lot of options, but
you have, like, that Palgon one?
Yeah, so that was one that I was in.
Okay.
I was there for middle school. Great place also. And I think the decision to go away for high school was, like, really the catalyst for my maturing, and that really made me start to think for myself.
What can you, like, kind of describe the schools in Miami, and then, like, why you chose to go to Queens?
So nothing against the schools in Miami. The schools in Miami, I mean, especially now, there's even more, but back in my day, sound like an old timer. Back in my day,
the days are different, by the way.
They really are.
Like, there are kids today, like 8-10-year-old kids who haven't seen Drake and Josh. Like, different days.
Dude, different worlds.
Very different.
Yeah. What was I saying?
That Miami schools back then.
Oh yeah, so Miami schools are great. They had a solid. They had pretty much ranging from modern Orthodox to to yeshivish schools, and they had like everything in between. And so like I definitely had my options there, but this school in New York, I every single time people ask me this question, I always feel so silly answering it. But this school in New York is a school for gifted kids.
Oh, like smart gifted or like
Yeah.
talented gifted?
Like smart gifted.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went there.
That's nice. So you went, I mean, that's cool. So you probably, did you have any friends from Miami that went there, or were you like
Nope.
on your own?
I was by myself.
And then this was like an all boys school?
Yeah.
Dorm?
Yep.
Huh. I haven't, what's it called?
Shar HaTorah.
And then where would you say like how religious was it? Like, was it a button down shirt school, a black hat school?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's like right wing YU,
Okay.
where like it is button down. Button down is part of the
Colored button downs, or is everyone just wearing white?
So definitely mostly white, but you had like always a bunch of colored shirts.
And then when you say gifted, I assume you mean like, the secular studies were pretty advanced there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting because I feel like, and I'm definitely responsible for contributing to this stereotype, but I kind of feel like when you think of the more right-wing communities, you don't really think of them
Exactly.
valuing these areas.
It's very, very sadly, it's very rare to find a school that finds a good balance between the two, and Shara Torah has really got that down. They really have a very serious Limudei Kodesh and English studies.
How many kids were in your grade there?
28.
Okay, so it's like Skokie's a little bit bigger than that. Skokie was like 35 kids
But
a grade.
they keep it small.
Oh, wow.
They keep it small intentionally.
What was like the Bechina like? Was that intense?
So, coming out of 8th grade, like, I didn't think it was intense, but like other people have like
Well, you were also a gifted child.
but like, yeah, people get very nervous on the interview. Also, it could be my interview is very different because mine was in Miami. Most people will take it in the school.
They came to Miami to like advertise?
No, so they don't go to advertise anywhere. You know, like I wrote an article for the commentator, and I compared it to like the MIT of yeshivas,
Huh.
where like they don't go out and try and advertise. Like you go to them.
So then how'd you interview in Miami?
So the Rebbe who did the interviews has his mother lives in Miami, and he was down in Miami visiting her. So I was like, perfect. We just work this out and set it up. And
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, okay. And so I got interviewed in Miami.
Are you the only member of your family to go away for high school?
So my brother went to. Have you heard of Waterbury?
I have.
Yes, my brother went to Waterbury for 12th grade. Before
Okay.
that, he was in Miami.
I have a cousin who went to Waterbury in like 12th grade.
Okay, yeah, it's yeah. I feel like it's becoming like, what's that rule with like Kevin Bacon, the movie rule?
6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, where Kevin Bacon has either worked with everyone or worked with everyone who worked with everyone. You pretty much pick an actor and then you have to get him to Kevin Bacon in 6 movies or less.
Yeah, so basically that, but like I would say like 2 degrees for Waterbury. In the Jewish world, I would say that like everybody knows someone or knows someone who knows
Yeah.
someone who's in Waterbury.
I mean, the Jewish community
who's been
isn't
to Waterbury.
like huge.
Right, it's not that big, but to think of one institution that has just had so many people.
Definitely out of like the yeshivas, it's like that one. Like I
Yeah.
mean, you could probably play that game with TABC, with Frisch. Like when it comes to places with like yeshiva in the name, it gets a little harder.
I hear that, but I feel like even in the modern Orthodox world, I would say that like Waterbury is known, and
Yeah.
like I feel like everybody knows someone or knows someone who knows someone.
Probably not known for like the greatest reasons.
That whether or not you agree with their ideology or not, I'm saying they are known.
Yeah. No, they're definitely known. I've
Yeah.
heard of Waterbury for a while.
Yeah.
It's cool. My family, like everyone went away except so I went to Skokie, and then there was a girls' high school in Houston, but my sister didn't really want to go there because it was small, so she went to, she lived with my grandma, went to high school in New York, and my brother goes to a Chavetz Chaim in St. Louis, and then my youngest sister, like, we're making her stay home. Like, my parents are keeping one child.
Okay, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Where do you fall in your family?
What do you mean? Oh, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
What about
So
you?
you're a trendsetter. I'm number 5 of 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Number 5?
Yep, number 5.
You kind of give off like oldest energy because you're very like the way you, like the things you've done. They feel very much like independent, like making my own way things.
It's interesting you say that because I kind of see that more as a middle child sort of thing, where like you kind of force yourself more so to like make a name for yourself.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I see you going.
This
both
isn't a
ways.
hill I need to die on. I'll give it to you. It's a middle child thing.
Yeah. All right, sweet.
Okay, well, I think we can. Thank you for having me.
Yes, dude.
So much fun.
This was awesome.
I hope you enjoyed this as like much as I have.
I had such a fantastic time.
I hope the audience enjoys it.